Alright, so in today's video, I've created my own NHL universe, meaning that we are going to reset the entire NHL using a fantasy draft, and I'm going to take control of one team and draft them throughout the fantasy draft. I'm going to get my players, and whatever we have at the end of it, that is the team moving forward. We cannot make any moves, any trades once the fantasy draft is over. That is our team for the rest of the video. And we have 10 seasons to win a Stanley Cup with this team that I've drafted throughout the fantasy draft, and if we do not win one, we have failed the challenge. So I'm going to control the Dallas Stars and win them a Stanley Cup. Well, at least I'm gonna try, right? Now the Dallas Stars are gonna select first in the fantasy draft. You are probably wondering why we get first pick. Well, pretty much I make the rules and I want to pick first, so we are gonna pick first, baby. So we have the first pick in the NHL fantasy draft. Columbus has the second pick. Chicago, Nashville, Arizona, Carolina, Tampa Bay, Vegas, and Ottawa, and Detroit are at the bottom there. All right, now let's get right into the fantasy draft. Who are we gonna select first overall in the entire game? That's right, we have selected Connor McDavid first overall in the NHL fantasy draft. To the Dallas Stars, Nathan MacKinnon went second and Cale Makar went third. Big German Leon went fourth to the Nashville Predators. Now, we already have a number one center, so I would like to get a defenseman here. Erik Karlsson is a bit old, though he's 32 years old. For goalies, Linus Ullmark is still there. I could technically get him. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to go with Erik Karlsson on D as our second pick in the NHL fantasy draft, and we have the first pick in the third round. Who are we going to select here? Back-to-back picks. Who do I want to take here? Who do I want to take? You know what? I think we're going to take Steven Stamkos as our second line center. Have some 1-2 punch down the middle there. Bergie is still on the board. What are we looking at for goalies here? Freddie Anderson. We're definitely going to have to pick a goalie here. You know what? I'm going to take Freddie Anderson, 88 overall, 32 years old. And then I'm going to select Patrice Bergeron as our two-way center. We have Joe Pavelski, Brent Burns, Matthias Ekholm. Joe Pavelski is a two-way forward, so you know what? I'm going to select him. And for D, I'm going to select, you know what? We'll go with Matthias Ekholm. All right, so now that the fantasy draft is over, let's take a look at the Dallas Stars and other teams in the NHL and see what they look like. We have Joe Pavelski at an 87, Connor McDavid at a 99, and Steven Stamkos at a 90 for our first line. On the second line, we have Jamie Benn at an 86, Patrice Bergeron 89, and Jordan Eberle 84. On the third line, we have JVR at an 82, David Krejci 85, Blake Wheeler 85, and for the fourth line, we have Kyle Okposo at an 82, Charlie Coyle 82, and Jonathan Taves 84. So defensively, our top pair is going to be Matthias Ekholm and Erik Karlsson, who's a 90 and 86 overall. They're going to work very well because he's a two-way defender, and obviously Karlsson's an offensive D-man. Now our second line is definitely going to hurt us with Mark Giordano and Brent Burns, who's an 87 and 83. They do have a -3 across the board, though. And finally, for our top 6 D pair, we have Jeff Petrie at an 84 and Ryan Suter at an 83. Our starting goalie is going to be Freddie Anderson at an 88 overall, and our backup is Cam Talbot at an 84. So this is the Dallas Stars roster heading into the fantasy draft, heading into my own NHL universe. Now, we have 10 seasons to win a Stanley Cup with this roster. Hopefully, we can get it done. But first, we got to look at the other teams in the NHL and see who they have. The Arizona Coyotes would actually end up selecting Austin Matthews as their first line center. He's gone home. Artemi Panarin is on the Boston Bruins, as well as Jake Gensel. The GOAT, Nathan MacKinnon, has gone to the Columbus Blue Jackets. He's a 95 overall. Tage Thompson is on the Calgary Flames. They have a very solid roster throughout the middle there. Alex Ovechkin is on the Colorado Avalanche along with Anze Kopitar. Johnny Hockey and Mikko Rantanen are on the Edmonton Oilers. David Pastrnak, Mika Zibanejad, and Cole Caulfield is the first line for the Florida Panthers. Matthew Tkachuk is on the LA Kings along with Matthew Barzal. Leon Draisaitl is off to Nashville. I mean, that is pretty fitting considering he is the owner of the Nashville Predators in real life. Sidney Crosby is on the New York Islanders along with Alexis Lafreniere. Brady Tkachuk is back on the Ottawa Senators along with Evgeny Malkin and Vladimir Tarasenko. Okay, so Vladimir Tarasenko signs with the Senators in real life, and in my universe, he's also on there. Philly is going to have Trevor Zegras and Jason Robertson. Elias Pettersson is a Pittsburgh Penguin along with Patrick Kane. Jack Eichel, Sebastian Aho, and Timo Meier on the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Toronto Maple Leafs have Mark Stone, Elias Lindholm, Jeff Skinner, and not much else, to be honest. The Winnipeg Jets are going to have Jack Hughes at a 90. Kyle Connor, they got him back. Cale Makar is on the Chicago Blackhawks. He's a 94. Colorado's going to have a pretty good decor. Rasmus Dahlin at a 91 and Jacob Slavin, 87. The Red Wings are going to have Quinn Hughes at a 90 and Rasmus Anderson. Adam Fox is going to be a Montreal Canadian. Charlie McAvoy is also on the New York Islanders. Heiskanen is going to be on the Ottawa Senators. Drew Doughty is a Philadelphia Flyer along with Jake Sanderson. Aaron Ekblad is on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Victor Hedman is a Toronto Maple Leaf along with Brendan Montour. Roman Josi is a Washington Capital. Ilya Sorokin's going to be on the Anaheim Ducks. Linus Ullmark is going to be on the Colorado Avalanche. Igor Shesterkin is going to be on the New Jersey Devils. Jake Ottinger is going to be on the Nashville Predators. UC Saros is on the New York Islanders. Andre Vasilevsky is on the New York Rangers at a 94. Laurent Brossoit is their backup. All right, so now we have an idea of what the rosters look like in my own NHL universe. Let's go ahead and sim up to 10 seasons until we win a Stanley Cup with the Dallas Stars. If you guys enjoy videos like this, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We are on our way to 10,000 subscribers. We are almost there. All right, now let's get into the video. All right, so at the end of year number 1, the Dallas Stars are just barely going to make the playoffs, finishing 5th in the Central, going 39, 35, and 8. We were 23 and 25 at one point. It was not looking good. The Tampa Bay Lightning are going to end up finishing 1st in the entire NHL, going 52, 26, and 4, followed by the Carolina Hurricanes, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Montreal Canadiens, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. At the bottom of the NHL, we have the Edmonton Oilers, the Seattle Kraken, and the Washington Capitals. Arizona is also down there. Connor McDavid is going to lead our team in goals with 52 and points with 99, followed by Steven Stamkos 87, Joe Pavelski 84, Bergeron 59, Carlson 55, Jordan Eberle 42. For goals on our team, McDavid had 52, Pavelski 29, Eberle 22, and Stammer 21. Only 21 goals. Jack Eichel is going to have the most points in the NHL with 113, followed by Leon Draisaitl's 108. Austin Matthews had 104, Jason Robertson 102, Jesper Bratt 101, Nathan McKinnon would have 100, Connor McDavid 99, Sebastian Aho 99, and Buchnevich 95. For goals, Matthews would have the most at 60, followed by McDavid's 52, Jack Eichel 51, Pasta 50, Kane 49, McKinnon 47. Drew Doughty is going to have the most points by a defenseman with 85, followed by Adam Fox's 83 and Victor Hedman 78. Tristan Jarry is going to have the most wins in the NHL with 45, followed by Swayman's 43, Kemper 41, and Robin Leonard 38. For shutouts, Avasi is going to have the most at 6. Actually, he was tied with Darcy Kemper. They would each have 6. Jonathan Quick, Kochekov, and Gustafsson is going to have 5 apiece. So Dallas is going to end up losing in Game 7 of round number 1 to Chicago. And the Florida Panthers are going to go on and win the Stanley Cup as they beat the Minnesota Wild in 6 games in the Stanley Cup final. Timmy Stu is going to have the most goals at 17 and the most points at 35 in the entire playoffs, followed by Alex Tuck's 30, Pasta had 26, Kreider 25, Joseph 23, Marchessault had 22, Duchesne was up there, Cole Caulfield and Carter Verhaeghe. Jack Eichel is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy, while Austin Matthews of the Arizona Coyotes is going to take home the Maurice Richard. Victor Hedman is going to win the Norris. The Lady Bing, Nicole Caulfield. Matthew Joseph is going to take home the Conn Smythe. Darcy Kemper is going to win the Vezina, and Alexander Barkov is going to win the Selke. At the end of year number 2, the Dallas Stars are going to end up finishing 2nd in the Central, going 45, 28, and 9. The Florida Panthers are going to be the best team in the NHL, going 52, 23, and 7, followed by the Carolina Hurricanes, the Nashville Predators, the San Jose Sharks, and the Dallas Stars, baby. At the bottom of the NHL, though, we have the Philadelphia Flyers, the Minnesota Wild, and the Los Angeles Kings. McDavid is going to put up 59 goals and 124 points, followed by Steven Stamkos' 79. Joe Pavelski had 73, Bergeron 69, Carlson 62, Jamie Benn 60. David Pastrnak is going to lead the entire NHL in goals with 61 and points with 126, followed by Connor McDavid's 124, Austin Matthews 113, your mom's a hoe. Sebastian Aho would have 106, Adam Fox 105, Chris Kreider 102. Wait a minute. Chris Kreider put up 26 goals and 102 points. Johnny Hockey had 100, Mikko Rantanen 97, and Jack Eichel 96. For goals other than Pasta, it was Mikko Rantanen who had 60, McDavid 59, Matthews 58, McKinnon 56, Eichel 49, and Nikita Kucherov 48. Ovi was also up there, and the German Gretzky, Timmy Stu. Adam Fox is going to have the most points by a defenseman with 105, followed by John Carlson 78, and Drew Doughty 72. I don't know why, but Adam Fox just simulates so well in these simulations. He's a 92 overall, right? He's an offensive defenseman, but let's take a look at Cale Makar. He's a 94, and he's only putting up 63 points. They basically have the same amount of goals, but Adam Fox has way more assists. Robin Leonard is going to have the most wins by a goalie with 41, followed by Varlamov's 37, and Bobrovsky's 37. For shutouts, Logan Thompson is going to have the most at 6, Sorokin and Bobrovsky and Aiden Hill would each tie at 5. Chicago is yet again going to play Dallas in in round number 1. And unfortunately, we are going to end up losing in the conference finals. We got swept by Winnipeg. They would bend us over and spank us, just like your daddy does to you when you do something bad. And the Florida Panthers are going to go back-to-back yet again as they win the Stanley Cup, beating Winnipeg in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. John Tavares is going to have the most points in the playoffs at 22. It would be a 4-way tie between Cole Caulfield, Chris Kreider, Pasta, and Johnny T. Middlestat had 21, Zibanejad 21, Kapanen 20, Max Pacioretty had 20. For the Dallas Stars, though, Connor McDavid would have 5 goals and 17 points. David Pastrnak is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, the Maurice Richard, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy, a clean sweep on all the awards. Adam Fox is going to win the Norris Trophy. Cole Caulfield, also known as the Cock, is going to win the Conn Smythe. How big is it, though? Ilya Samsonov is going to win the Vezina, and Sidney Crosby is going to take home the Selke. The Dallas Stars are going to end up finishing second in the Central in year number 3, going 52, 24, and 6. The greatest team of all time. Actually, no, they're not. They are not the greatest team of all time because they have totally different players now. Colorado is going to end up finishing first in the entire NHL, going 52, 22, and 8, followed by the Dallas Stars, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the New Jersey Devils, Tampa Bay, Seattle, and New York was also up there. At the bottom of the NHL, we have the Vancouver Canucks, the Capitals, the Arizona Coyotes. That is tough. Connor McDavid is only going to score 32 goals but have 103 points, followed by Steven Stamkos' 91, Bergeron 85, Pavelski 85, Karlsson 59. Erik Karlsson has not really been producing, if I'm being honest. He's a 90 overall. He should score more than 59 points. David Pastrnak is going to lead the entire NHL in points with 107, followed by Alex DeBrincat's 103, Connor McDavid 103, Jason Robertson had 100, Mikko Rantanen 98, Kaprizov 93, Eichel 93, Johnny Hockey 93, and Chris Kreider 92. What? Chris Kreider has turned into one of the best point getters in the entire NHL in the simulation. For goals, Cat is going to lead the way with 52, most in the entire NHL, followed by Rantanen's 49, Nikita Kucherov 47, Pasta 47, Crosby 45, Jason Robertson and Patrick Kane have 44, Draisaitl 41, and Ovi 40. Victor Hedman is going to have the most points by a defenseman with 79, followed by Adam Fox at 77, John Carlson 73, and Cale Makar 71. See, this is what I'm talking about. A 94 overall defenseman, offensive defenseman, and Cale Makar is only going to score 7 goals in 82 goddamn games. Freddie Anderson is going to have the most wins by a goalie, followed by Linus Ullmark's 40 and Bobrovsky's 39. Oh my god, Sergei Bobrovsky is going to have 9 shutouts on the season, followed by Vasi's 5, Markstrom 5, and Samsonov 5. But Sergei Bobrovsky, man, 9 shutouts in 73 games. And yet again, the Dallas Stars are going to be playing the Chicago Blackhawks in round number 1. That is 3 straight years in a row. And the Dallas Stars have made the Stanley Cup final. We are up against the New York Rangers. Can we go on and win the Stanley Cup in year number 3? And in game 7 of the Stanley Cup final, the Dallas Stars are going to end up losing 5-0. I have no idea how you put this effort out in a game 7 of the Stanley Cup final. We only have 19 shots for the game. This is so embarrassing. We made it all this way just to lose like this. For the entire playoff run, Connor McDavid's going to have the most goals at 22 and the most points at 39. God damn, we wasted one of the greatest playoff runs of all time. 22 goals and 39 points. Followed by Dylan Larkin's 28, Bergeron 26, Steven Stamkos 26, Joe Pavelski 25, Patty Kane 24, Braden Shen had 23. Alex DeBrincat is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, the Maurice Richard, and the Hart Trophy, while Pasta is going to take home the Art Ross. Victor Hedman with another Norris Trophy, the lady being the Pasta yet again. Dylan Larkin is going to take home the Conn Smythe. Vasi is going to win the Vezina, and Sidney Crosby yet again is going to take home the Selke. At the end of year number 4, the Dallas Stars are going to end up finishing first in the Central, going 49, 26, and 7. The Columbus Blue Jackets are going to be the best team in hockey, going 53, 20, and 9, followed by the Dallas Stars, the Carolina Hurricanes, the Minnesota Wild, and the Chicago Blackhawks. At the bottom of the NHL, we have the New York Islanders, the Philadelphia Flyers, and the Vancouver Canucks. Connor McDavid is going to have an absolute terrible year, 34 goals and 91 points as a 99 overall player, followed by Steven Stamkos' 83, Bergeron 67, Pavelski 62, Karlsson 61. Nikita Kucherov is going to have the most points in the NHL with 111, followed by Austin Matthews, who had 107, Johnny Hockey 106, Rantanen would have 100, Leon Draisaitl 99, Elias Lindholm 97, Ovi 95, Timmy Stu and McDavid would each have 91. For goals, Matthews is going to have the most at 63, followed by Leon Draisaitl's 56, Kucherov 56, Rantanen 51, Ovi 50, McKinnon 47, Nazem Kadri is going to have 46 on the New Jersey Devils. Victor Hedman yet again is going to have the most points by a defenseman, this time with 78, followed by Aaron Ekblad 73, Drew Doughty 72, Josh Morrissey 72, and Quinn Hughes 71. For goalies, Freddie Anderson yet again is going to have the most wins, this time with 42, followed by Dreger's 40, Sorokin 39, and Darcy Kemper 39. For shutouts, Allmark and Demko are going to tie for the most at 7. Jari, Shesterkin, Samsonov would each have 6 apiece. And finally, we are not going to be playing the Chicago Blackhawks in round number 1, as we are playing the Nashville Predators, and the Dallas Stars are going to end up losing in Game 7 yet again to the Chicago Blackhawks, this time in round number 2, as Chicago is going to go on and win the Stanley Cup as they beat the Red Wings in 6 games in the Stanley Cup Final. Connor McDavid is going to have 7 goals and 17 points for the playoffs, followed by Bergeron's 12, Stamkos 11, and Joe Pavelski 11. Cale Makar is going to have the most points in the playoffs with 26, followed by Voracek's 24. Chandler Stevenson had 23, Philip Forsberg 22, Matt Duchene 22, and Quinn Hughes 22. Nikita Kucherov is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy, while Matthews is going to take home the Maurice Richard. Victor Hedman is going to win the Norris yet again. Matt Duchene is actually going to steal the Conn Smythe somehow. Darcy Kemper is going to win the Vezina, and Bo Horvat is going to take home the Selke. At the end of year number 5, the Dallas Stars are going to end up finishing second in the Central, going 45, 30, and 7. The Buffalo Sabres are actually going to end up finishing first in the entire NHL, going 49, 30, and 3. So you're telling me the best team in the NHL can't even crack 50 wins? Followed by the Anaheim Ducks, the New Jersey Devils, the Vancouver Canucks, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Dallas Stars were down there at 8th in the entire NHL. I guess we had a very competitive league this season. At the bottom of the NHL, we have the Capitals, the Bruins, and the St. Louis Blues. Honestly, you love to see it. You love to see the Boston Bruins way down there at second last in the NHL. Connor McDavid is going to have 47 goals and 126 points, followed by Steven Stamkos' 88, Bergeron 82, Joe Pavelski 75. For the entire NHL, McDavid is going to have the most points at 126, followed by Austin Matthews 113, Alex DeBrincat 101, Jesper Bratt 101, Johnny Hockey 100, Ederson 97, Kane 96, Jack Eichel 94, and Pasta 92. For goals, Patrick Kane is going to have the most at 52, followed by Matthews is 48, McDavid 47, McKinnon 47, Pasta 46, DeBrincat 46, Marchand 44, Laine 44, and Breadman 41. Adam Fox is yet again going to have the most points by a defenseman, this time with 81, followed by Drew Doughty 78, Pietrangelo 74, Charlie McAvoy was up there, Victor Hedman, Shea Theodore, Ilya Sorokin, and Samsonov are going to tie for the most wins, both had 42, followed by John Gibson 41, Freddie Anderson 39, Jeremy Swayman 39. Vasi and Freddie Anderson are going to tie for the most shutouts, they would each have 7 apiece, followed by Linus Ullmark, who had 6, Jeremy Swayman 5, Saros 5, Aiden Hill 5, and Shesterkin 5. And the Dallas Stars are back in the Stanley Cup Final yet again against the New York Rangers. Can we finally get a revenge and win the Stanley Cup with the team that I've drafted from the fantasy draft? And somehow we're going to lose in 4 straight games to the New York Rangers. We would end up getting swept in the Stanley Cup Final. God damn, that is so embarrassing. What is going on? Like, why are we so bad in the Stanley Cup Final? For the playoffs, Connor McDavid would do his thing, 16 goals, 29 points. Stammer had 20, Pavelski 15, Blake Wheeler 13. Connor McDavid is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy, while Patrick Kane is going to take home the Maurice Richard. Drew Doughty is going to win the Norris. Dylan Larkin is yet again going to take home another Conn Smythe. Ilya Samsonov is going to win the Vezina, and Alexander Barkov is going to take home the Selke. At the end of year number 6, the Dallas Stars are going to end up finishing second in the Central, going 47, 28, and 7. The Anaheim Ducks are going to be the best team in all of hockey, going 52, 26, and 4, followed by the New Jersey Devils, the Florida Panthers, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Colorado Avalanche, and the Dallas Stars. At the bottom of the NHL, we have the Capitals, the Canucks, and the Buffalo Sabres. Connor McDavid is going to have 42 goals and 100 points, followed by Steven Stamkos, who had 84, Erik Karlsson had 70, Bergeron had 69, Pavelski 68, Jordan Eberle 56. Leon Draisaitl is going to have the most points in the entire NHL with 101, followed by Connor McDavid, who had 100. Leon Draisaitl is going to have the most points in the NHL with 101, followed by Connor McDavid, who had 100. Alex Ovechkin had 99, Barkov 99, Kane 96, Panarin 96, Jack Eichel 96, Matthews 92, and McKinnon 92. 42. Austin Matthews is going to have the most goals in the NHL with 49, followed by Ovi's 46. Leon Draisaitl had 46 as well. The GOAT Nathan MacKinnon had 45. Patrick Kane 44. Laine 43. McDavid 42. For defenseman, Rasmus Dahlin is going to have 15 goals and 86 points, leading all defenders in points, followed by Victor Hedman's 85, Adam Fox 82, and Shea Theodore 70. Ilya Sorokin is going to have the most wins by any goaltender with 42, followed by Freddie Anderson's 40 and Igor Shesterkin 40. The Dallas Stars are back in the Stanley Cup final for the third time of the simulation, and we are up against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Can we finally go on and win a Stanley Cup? And the Dallas Stars have gone on to win the Stanley Cup as they beat the Toronto Maple Leafs in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final. We would draft this team from scratch and watch them grow into a Stanley Cup champion. It has only taken us 6 long years to get here, as the Toronto Maple Leafs put up a good fight, but man, did we ever pull it out in Game 7. Connor McDavid is going to take home the Conn Smythe for the Dallas Stars. I mean, that's no surprise. He's been by far our best player the entire simulation. And there it is. At least the Stanley Cup is going to be raised in Toronto. Sorry, Leafs fans. And here comes our captain, Connor McDaddy, baby, coming to lift the Stanley Cup for the very first time in his career with the Dallas Stars, as we are Stanley Cup champions in year number 6. And there he is, baby. McDavid finally gets his Stanley Cup. This is probably the final time you will ever see Patrice Bergeron lift the Stanley Cup, so I had to give it off to him. He retired in real life, but he's got one more Stanley Cup to ride off in the sunset, baby. He's gonna pass it off to Steven Stamkos, baby, the man who dummied Austin Matthews in the playoffs. And finally, we are gonna give it off to Erik Karlsson, baby, our #1 defenseman on the team. He was a 90 overall, but he pretty much underperformed the entire simulation, barely cracking 70 points per year, but there he is, baby. And there is the Dallas Stars celebrating their Stanley Cup, as it has taken us 6 long years to get here, but the Dallas Stars are finally Stanley Cup champions. Connor McDavid is going to have one of the greatest playoff runs of all time, 24 goals and 45 points, followed by Bergeron's 30. Victor Hedman had 30. Karlsson had 29, so he stepped up big in the playoffs. Steven Stamkos had 24. Jordan Eberle had 24. Brendan Montour 22. Leon Draisaitl is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy, while yet again Matthews is going to win the Maurice Richard. Victor Hedman with another Norris. The Conn Smythe, obviously, to McDavid. Linus Ullmark is going to win the Vezina, and yet again Alexander Barkov is going to take home the Selke. And that is going to do it for this video, boys. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing and leaving a like. Obviously, turn on notifications so you don't miss a single upload. This was a very fun one to do. We got to draft our own team from scratch using the fantasy draft, and it only took us 6 years to get here. So we completed the challenge in under 10 seasons to win a Stanley Cup. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see next. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Rappy Willie.